Hello, everyone. This is the NESG Radio. My name is Sherry Fadiribigbe, and I am the Communications and Advocacy Specialist with the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. Today, we'll be discussing Nigeria's energy transition plan. And to help us dimension this, we have with us here Mr. Alex Akolo. He's an energy consultant. You're welcome, Mr. Alex.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Okay, let's start from the basics. What really is Nigeria's energy transition plan?
Okay, so at COP26, the former president of Nigeria committed that Nigeria was going to reduce its carbon emissions and be carbon neutral by year 2060. And in August 24th, 2022, Nigeria launched its own energy transition plan, which focuses on five key sectors: the power sector, the industrial sector, transportation sector, oil and gas sector, and clean cooking sectors. Basically, it's just to see how greenhouse gas emissions across the sectors will be greatly reduced. And one of the fundamental objectives of the plan is to lift Nigerians out of poverty. So, on the transportation sector, we're trying to see how we take out greenhouse gases, convert vehicles, begin to use compressed natural gas as a vehicular fuel or electric vehicles. On the clean cooking side, we look at how people can begin to use LPG. On the power side, conversion into renewable energy as against fossil fuels. So that's just a quick recap of what
Of the plan.
the plan is.
Thank you. Wonderful. Like this plan now, especially considering how the country is now, we are looking at creating a lot of jobs, and it seems this plan can help us achieve that. So, wonderful plan. But now let's talk about implementation. How easy is it going to be for us to implement this plan? Go into the nitty gritties to ensure that the overall goal of achieving net zero in 2060 is achieved.
Honestly, it won't be easy to implement because one of the major challenges of the plan is high cost of financing. The the plan is supposed to be heavily financed, and one of the factors we saw that is that most of the funding for the plan are going to be foreign sourced. So the private sector needs to put in a lot of funds into the sector, into the plan, because energy transition is not cheap. It's really expensive. And there are some other challenges as well. Many people are not knowledgeable. Many people do not know about the plan. They don't even know what it takes to be involved in energy transition, right? So also there are challenges of misalignment of public sector and private sector interest. Some private sector stakeholders just felt the government just went and cooked up a plan without involving them. And there's also the factor of non-inclusion of some people, of women. Some people feel the plan is not so realistic because how can you tell people not to, given Nigeria's current economic situations, right? People not to use firewood or not to use some other alternative sources of energy that are very, very expensive. And don't forget that the current economic outlook of the country is not so favorable as it used to be in the past. So energy, it won't be easy, just to answer your question.
Thank you for that question, for that wonderful answer. So we know it's not going to be easy. It's really not going to be easy, especially considering all the factors that you have mentioned, the challenges. But I'm also looking at it from this perspective, like, is the energy transition plan, is it meant for big organizations, big companies, or do you think MSMEs and households and individuals can key into Nigeria's energy transition plan?
Yes, everybody can key into the energy transition plan. It's not just for the big oil and gas companies or the big power companies. Everybody. The essence of the plan is just to see how, as I said earlier, the country attains carbon neutrality by 2060. So there are people that are already converting their vehicles from fossil fuel engines, that is diesel and petrol, to gas, LPG, CNG, some even electric. So I mean, down to the individual level, people are already jumping on the plan. So it's not just for the big
Players.
exactly big corporations. So everybody is included.
Okay, thank you. So, from the perspective of the government now, what can the government do to ease the burden, for the private sector in terms of ensuring that this plan is achieved?
Okay. Thank you, Sheriff. So there are a number of things the government can do. The incentives that the private sector needs from the government. The first one is creating an enabling environment. So Nigeria is not one of the very, very easy countries to do business in. The ease of doing business in Nigeria is not so favorable, right? So tax and monetary incentives to the private sector needs to be looked at. See how importation duties can be cut down. See how embargoes on importations can be removed. See how VAT importation and all those stuff can be taken care of. It will incentivize the private sector, because the truth is that most of the requirements for this plan are going to be imported into the country. Technology is going to be imported. Capital development is going to be imported. So the government can provide an enabling environment, can also provide some sort of human capital development, right? Then the there's also the need for advocacy for the plan to be able to take shape, because there are a lot of people that still do not know about the Nigerian energy transition plan. So the government still has, there's some things, as I said, monetary incentives, business, enabling business environment and stuff.
Thank you, thank you. So, I'd like to end this way. Like you've mentioned a whole lot of things that the government needs to do. So, from an individual perspective, how can I help the country achieve net zero?
From an individual perspective, Alex can help, or myself, let me
Yeah.
personalize it. I can help the country achieve net zero by advocacy or carrying out research and engaging in advocacy to see how I can push the message of the energy transition plan out there for people that have not heard about it. So that is one way I can contribute in my own little quota. So I don't have the big box, the big funds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because energy transition is really expensive, right? So I don't have that. But in my own little way, as you said, I can lend my own voice and let people be aware of what's going on. Then also, can also support in terms of monitoring and evaluation. When there's something that's good that has been done, you announce it so that people can know this was going on, and they can also see how they can adopt those carbon neutrality measures, because it's really important to see the good things that are happening already on the energy transition plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you.
Our viewers, you've heard it from Mr. Alex, and he has basically helped us know that it's not just the responsibility of the government or the big players, it's not just their inputs that will help us achieve net zero. So you as an individual can also participate by, ensuring that you stick to part of the things that he has said. Thank you, Mr. Alex, for coming. So
Thank you.
we had here with us Mr. Alex Akolo. He's an energy consultant. So if you want to listen to more interesting conversations like this, on the NESG radio, just visit www.nesgroup.org/podcast. Thank you once again, and see you next time.